A historic election night here in Forest County just came to a close, attracting 50% of registered voters. Now, we just spoke to the circuit clerk who says that this is a turnout that she's never seen before. Jessica, it's going great. I don't know if you hear the music in the background, but it feels like a mixture of church and Sunday dinner. But if you look right here behind me, you see folks that are getting their food together, they're getting their meals. The cold weather is coming to the Pine Belt quickly, and mechanics say before you get in your car to drive, be sure to check these three things. Just about 2 hours ago, this street was packed with several law enforcement agencies. Now, a man barricaded himself inside of this house that you see right behind me. We're here live near the Hattiesburg Walmart on 49 South, where Hattiesburg police officers are investigating the death. Yesterday around 2 p.m., a threat began to surface here at South Jones High School concerning parents, faculty, staff here at the school. All right, so we're expecting everybody to come out, have a good time here in Hattiesburg. But before we get out, let's take a look at this guy's get up. Let's take a step back. Check them out, everybody. But here, live in Hattiesburg, I'm Kendall Green with WDAM on your side. Bombshell allegations surfaced in the city of Columbia regarding protocol, procedure, and overall police department culture. Several questions have been raised after a letter from a police officer to the police chief was leaked to the public. That letter alleges the abuse of a man and questionable police procedures. We went straight to the chief of the department about the letter. He confirmed that he'd received it months ago, and he investigated the allegations himself. So you fully investigated this and found no...
No, we found no. We cannot substantiate any of the statements that were made in this letter.
In the letter, the officer alleges a man was zip-tied to a pole and hit with a yardstick so hard that it broke. The letter also claims the man had chair legs placed on his feet as someone sat in the chair, and his life was threatened with a gun. The letter also alleges an officer, while searching for the man, was instructed not to call out to dispatch because officers wanted to, quote, deal with him. Another statement from a different police officer within the department supported the allegations in the letter. We presented that statement to Chief Kelly, and he said it brought new information to light concerning his investigation.
This letter that you presented to me today does raise questions that I would want answered.
That statement alleges that the same individual referenced in the letter was hardly able to stand up and walk after being in police custody. The officer added that the man wasn't in that condition before his encounter with police.
The reason why there's been no action is because there wasn't sufficient evidence for there to be action. I certainly believe by you presenting this to me, we are obligated to take a second look at it. We're obligated to, and we certainly will.
We asked Chief Kelly if he would consider turning over his investigation to the state, and he's not ruling that out at this time. In Columbia, Kendall Green, WDAM on your side. Tuesday, the date of a historical and controversial election here in the state of Mississippi, a woman received a lot of attention for giving her grandson what she calls a valuable lesson. Claudia Bivens invited her 8-year-old grandson to the polls in an attempt to teach him about the importance of voting and the history of voter suppression.
I saw it as an absolute opportunity to teach him some things that I would love for him to be able to teach his children.
Part of her attire caught many by surprise. She wore a Confederate flag on her shoulders along with a red noose while voting.
The flag was draped over my shoulders, representing the burden that racism places on my shoulders. And if my shoulders are burdened down, everybody else's shoulders are burdened down too.
Afterwards, she took the flag and laid it across the grave of the late civil rights leader Vernon Damer. He was killed in his home by the members of the KKK for trying to fight for black voting rights in the 60s.
The laying down on the flag represented laying down the past. Let it die. Kill it from the root.
Bivens says her actions were spontaneous. She adds that she didn't suspect it would have a negative impact on the family.
I have so much respect for that family, and I would never intentionally do anything to cause them any type of grief. They went through too much.
Dennis Damer, the son of the late civil rights leader, says he gets her message and he thinks that it's important that she shared it.
We want it made quite clearly that we support what that lady did, okay? The only part that we had a problem with was her actually putting the flag on the grave.
He adds that communication with the family beforehand could have prevented any misunderstanding.
If she would have contacted us, we told her we didn't want her to do that. and I believe she would not have done it.
And he would like to see her continue her fight to educate young voters and eradicate voter suppression in the state of Mississippi.
We commend the lady. I hope she continues to speak out about how she feels about things, and I look forward to having the opportunity to meet her one day in person.
She says while her methods may have been extreme, her motives were pure. But reporting in Hattiesburg, Kendall Green, WDAM, on your side. Today here at Seminary Schools, there's only one goal in mind for students and staff, and that's suicide prevention. The staff held an assembly with guest speakers and organized a march to raise awareness of suicide. Megan Clark, a head basketball coach in seminary, talked to us about their goal.
It's prevention for suicidal thoughts. It's also support for those who have lost loved ones due to suicide.
She says the problem hits home for her and her students.
I had some kids that actually experienced it. And you have some kids that come up to you and say, hey, I might have been cutting my wrist, or I feel like this, or I feel like that.
The principal at Seminary Middle, when he first began his work there, says it was a key issue parents wanted fixed.
When I first got here, the parents kind of talked to me about bullying and the number of suicides that have happened here in the past. And from that day, I said, not on my watch. We're going to do everything we can to prevent that from happening again.
Another teacher in the district recalls the feeling she got when she got the news about one of her students committing suicide.
You can't put that feeling into words. It's a sickening feeling. It's like your heart falls into the bottom of your stomach.
A student at seminary says her first encounter with suicide was as early as the 2nd grade.
My dad checked me out and he told me, that one of my close friends, that a family friend had committed suicide.
The message in seminary was made clear today.
No matter if they're grown or a student, your life matters to someone.
Staff members say that they're taking a proactive approach to make sure that their students feel loved and supported. But reporting in seminary, I'm Kendall Green with the WDAM on your side. A lot of hard work has gone into remodeling this home here on North 5th Street here in Hattiesburg. Hattiesburg's Habitat for Humanity and Allstate partnered together to put working hands to a worthy cause.
They're like machines today. They're rocking and rolling.
It's just all about giving back to the community that gives us so much.
Akwete Muhammad worked with excitement today, watching their partnership with Allstate come together.
They are here working on behalf of their Helping Hands Foundation, where every year they go across the United States of America, choose a nonprofit where they choose to do a day of service.
Matt Houston with Allstate says they've put in some intense manual labor.
We've had to strip the floors when we're putting new floors down. We've had to cut away some old wood that was deteriorated.
Allstate's manual labor wasn't the only significant contribution made to the project.
Each person that is here, not only are they giving their time and their energy, but they're also, the foundation is going to match their monetary donation in the amount of $1,000. So we got 8 people here, so they're going to be donating $8 grand to Habitat.
Houston says that he's proud that he, his son, and colleagues were able to contribute to someone else's life in such a meaningful way.
If you can take a family who doesn't have a home and give them home ownership, I know what it's like to own a home, and it's, you know, it takes your life to a whole nother level, in my opinion.
He says he admires the passion of some of Hattiesburg's Habitat for Humanity volunteers.
There's one kid here that he works every day, and he's just volunteer. I mean, come on, man, how special is that? It just inspires you, man, to be a better person, to do, you know, to give back to the community as much as you can.
We believe that if each of us do a little, we can accomplish a lot. So Allstate is assisting us with that, and Habitat is just blessed to have community partners that want to partner with us to make people's dreams a true reality.
With just a few more final touches, both organizations are steps away from meeting their goal, and that's putting a family in a home. But reporting in Hattiesburg, I'm Kendall Green with WDAM on your side. Last Thursday, a standoff in Jefferson Davis County ended peacefully, with Kevin Bateman surrendering to police. His surrender came roughly 3 hours after he barricaded himself inside of someone else's home. That homeowner, Thomas Hopper, had questions that day, and almost a week later, he's still looking for answers.
How am I going to live and see to my health, and you know what I'm saying? And take care of my daily needs like I've been doing. That's difficult when I have to find somewhere to stay.
Harper says his home was damaged and made conditions there unlivable. damaged doors and furniture, shattered windows, and air saturated with tear gas. As a bystander in the incident having no relations with the crime committed by Bateman that day, Harper says he wonders who should have been held accountable for the damages to his home. After several failed attempts to contact officials from many of the agencies present that day, we decided to reach out to Matt Steffi, a law professor at Mississippi College, to get answers.
This is a recurring and complicated situation.
An official with the U.S. Marshals left Harper a form to fill out, and due to his health condition, not only will it be difficult for him to assess the damage and document it, but it will be equally difficult to wait through the process for his home to be repaired. Steffi says although this is a unique circumstance for someone like Harper and his medical condition, it's not uncommon for law enforcement to cause damage in pursuit of a fugitive.
Police officers, often in the legitimate exercise of their responsibilities, end up causing property damage or personal injury or inconvenience or all sorts of other things to citizens at large.
Steffi says the agencies present at the standoff all acted in accordance to their rights as enforcers of the law, regardless of the damage that took place.
Mr. Harper and his home are the unfortunate collateral damage, so to speak.
But as far as a common progression is concerned, things remain unclear. Steffi says much of Harper's losses closely resemble circumstances where victims experience damages after high pursuit situations that occur in the public.
And there's not an obvious, easy, fully satisfactory remedy. I think this is a hidden cost of law enforcement. I think that this is something that it doesn't often get the public's attention. I think Mr. Harper's case is a good example of that.
Steffi adds that the expectation that law enforcement should always absorb the cost of inconvenience would be unreasonable.
To say that each police department has to pay the inconvenience and medical expenses and loss of work and that sort of thing for each individual citizen could end up being a substantial burden on already stretched police resources.
The situation in Harper's case, however, is a complex issue that may deserve more attention in the future.
So many people in this current economy live one event away from real life struggles, and the social safety net is not set up in such a way that to address all of those needs.
Reporting in Hattiesburg, Kendall Green, WDAM on your side.